Hi, welcome to this part of my review featuring Talengarde, an epic fantasy adventure game. If you haven't seen the other parts of my review, please check out the playlist in the description below. This time we are going to talk about the order of play. The game is divided into rounds, turns which proceed clockwise, and phases. Each player's turn consists of a movement phase and a combat phase. A round is the time it takes for all players to take their turns. To determine which player goes first, each player rolls one die, and the one with the highest number goes first. Let's talk about the movement phase. Concerning terrain, the world of Talengarde has 5 types of terrain that are represented by different colors. Yellow spaces are plains, green spaces are forests, brown spaces are mountains, blue spaces are water, and purple spaces are underground waterways. Each type of terrain requires a different number of speed points to cross it. The number of speed points a hero has is equal to their base speed stat, or the base speed of their transportation. If you don't have transportation, the hero's entire party uses the hero's base speed for movement. Plains cost 1 speed point, as do all map pieces other than crypts or caves. Forests cost 2 speed points, and mountains cost 3, except for the small square spaces, which all have a cost of 1 regardless of their terrain. Water can be crossed by swimming, at a rate of 1 space per turn, by boat, at a rate of 1 movement point per space, or by bridge, at a cost of 2 movement points per bridge. If you are flying, all types of terrain cost 1 speed point. Let's talk about transportation. If you have a mount or a ship, it becomes the transportation of your hero's entire party. This means that you may use the transport's base speed for movement. When it comes to magic, some spells are meant to be cast during the movement phase. These include all non-combat spells, such as movement spells like teleport or fly, summon spells, or special abilities like healing. Let's talk about the combat phase. At the end of the movement phase, a player is required to check for encounters that may be inhabiting the space where he or she has landed, unless he or she enters a building. This is done by rolling 1d6 and adding the roll to the terrain factor found on the terrain chart. Then find the total on the encounter chart, which will tell you how many encounters, if any, are there. If a hero is already in combat from the previous turn, he or she has the option to flee combat during the movement phase, or to skip directly to the combat phase to continue the battle. If there are no encounters, you may end your turn, unless you wish to attack another player who is in range, or take some other action, like casting a non-combat spell. If there is an encounter or several, then you will draw from the encounter deck to see who or what you are fighting. Another player, usually the one whose turn is after yours, plays the encounter. The order of play is determined by initiative. And this concludes this part of the review. In the next part we are going to talk about the combat structure. You may have noticed that unlike Talisman, movement is not random here. In a sense, that's a bit more tactical, perhaps strategic depending on your equipment, your allies, that is the party members, etc. And it's important to know that you should play a bit paranoid, because you never know when the players are going to approach your location and are going to attack your character. Sometimes you are a bit too close to other players, and because of their transportation or some spell, they may end up approaching you quite fast and attacking you by surprise. Maybe you ended up wounded from a previous encounter, so players are going to capitalize on this. Depending on their effects, the items, spells, etc., they may end up taking something from you, or maybe they will end up eliminating you from the game. You can also use ranged attacks against other players, so if a player has a good bow or some other sort of ranged weapon, they may end up using it against you from far away, and you were too confident that the opponent was several spaces too far away from you, but you forgot about the ranged weapon or spells. Thank you for watching this part of the review, and thank you for your likes and your comments. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. Once again, thank you, and see you later.